Generally speaking, we can divide various different sections of the Torah into various sections. Some of the familiar ones may be the narrative section, where there's a story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and some kind of a message that the Torah wants to convey via the story. Another familiar section is the halachic section, the mitzvahs, Hashem instructing us to behave in a certain way and to abstain from other types of behaviors. I would like to discuss three somewhat less common types of Torah texts, Torah sections, that prominently are featured in Sefer Devarim. Number one, the notion of repeating events that already have happened. All of Parshas Devarim is simply a repetition of events that have been recorded in the Torah elsewhere. What is the purpose of such a repetition? We know already. If we wanted to know the historical events, we can look ourselves. But what is the purpose of using up a whole Parsha in Sefer Devarim for that purpose? Secondly, a major part of Sefer Devarim are sections of ethics where HaKadosh Baruch Hu repeats over and over again the fact that we have to love Hashem and we have to fear Hashem, and the midas that we're supposed to have, again and again giving us musar. What is the point of that repetition? HaKadosh Baruch Hu should simply instruct us once or twice about the midos, about the attitudes that we're supposed to have towards Him, and therefore that would be enough for us to know what the general Jewish ethics are all about. And finally, all of Parshas Ha'azinu is a shirah. Now, if we were just to try to summarize the basic information of the shirah, I'm sure we would not need the lengthy psukim that are mentioned. The whole parsha, all about the shirah, we could satisfy vis-a-vis the information with just a few psukim. So once again, why is it important for us to have the shirah, which is seemingly could be summarized in much shorter text? And the answer to that question is that if the Torah was just trying to convey dry information, we would not need repetition of Parshas Devarim. We would not need the Musar section that was so lengthy. We would not need Parshas Ha'azinu. But since the purpose of the Torah is also to teach the effective part, so that we are able to incorporate with our hearts, with our emotions, with our whole being, all of the Torah, therefore it is absolutely necessary to involve these three sections. Because when we hear dry information, as powerful as the idea unto itself may be, nevertheless, it does not strike us, it is not able to necessarily penetrate us. We have to hear it in different ways, using different imagery, different languages, numerous repetitions, and then at a certain point, the information is able to penetrate our hearts. It's like a stone that an artist is working with. They're chipping away, they hit it at a certain angle, and the stone falls apart. Why? Because there's a fault line in the stone, and therefore, you have to hit it at a particular angle. All the other times that you hit it, it will not have the desired effect. But once you hit it in the right way, then the stone is able to split. And that is why we need the repetition of Sefer Devarim. That is why we need the ethics, the Musar section of the Torah, which repeats itself over and over again. And that is why we need Parshas Ha'azinu, which is the Shirah, which is just seemingly so superfluous. We need it in order to make sure that the information that we have learned in the Chamisha Chomshei Torah do not remain on a theoretical level, but through the imagery, through the language, through all the different tools, the literary tools that the Torah has at its disposal, the information is able to come alive and become a part of our life.